Good day, class. So today we're going to be doing our lightning project and the finger wave and our fashion color. So I've chosen a mannequin that should be looking exactly, pretty much just like yours right now. So we have our 4 quadrants. You see the haircut that's underneath. It's already sectioned off into our 4 quadrants. Make sure that you have your PPE. So right now I have an apron. I don't know if you have it at home. So just make sure that you're using clothing that you don't mind if something messes up. You don't want to damage your clothing. You have your gloves, you have your protective eye equipment just to make sure that there's no accidents that can happen there. Make sure that you're set up in a nice area of your home. I know you're doing this at home, that keeping in mind you may need some protective cardboard or something on the ground. So right now I do have my lightener. I just have a towel here in case anything, and I have everything mixed up into a good consistency. We are going to be applying 1 inch from the root, because you're going to pretend as though this was a human and heat was emitting from the head. So we don't want to have hot roots. So we're going to do our application for the full strand, and then after the strand, all the strands are applied, saturated properly and applied, then we're going to go back in and make sure that the roots are covered, so we get a really good consistent look. So I'm just going to be applying. I'm not going to go past 1 inch. I want to make sure that I have at least 1 inch from the root. I have my quadrant there. I am just coating the exterior of each quadrant with lightener, just to kind of organize my quadrants. I have my application on my 4 quadrants. Now I'm going to take thin sections for each quadrant, so my subsections, and I'm just going to make sure I have really good saturation applied from just about 1 inch away to the rest of the hair strand. I'm just going to move that over gently and then make sure that each of my sections are nice and fine and that they can be saturated well. And then I'll continue to work on the opposite section and do the exact same thing. All right, so my 4 quadrants are saturated. Now I'm gonna go in to the root. So you are going to be mindful of how fast you're seeing your processing take place. So generally, maybe for this length of hair and density of hair, maybe about 15 to 20 minutes, you may see the right type of level and the lift happening. And after about 15 minutes processing time, you may at that point want to go into the root. So there's no exact time, to be honest with you, but it depends on the condition of the hair to begin with, and the level and the porosity and all those good things that we have to take into consideration when we're doing a color. Now I'm going to be going into the root area, and if this was our actual client, this processing will be taking place, and the darker roots should start speeding up to meet what we've done at the ends because of the heat that's going to be emitting from the head. So now I'm going to go through and make sure I have good saturation all through the roots, okay? Things can tend to get a little bit messy. You'll get a bit neater with it as you go, so don't overthink it too much. At least you have the safety of knowing that this is not an actual person, but this is going to help give us some of the tools that we need to get comfortable in doing an actual application on somebody. My sections are pretty small. I'm going in rather quickly, making sure that I have good processing, making sure that I have good application. I'm keeping my eye on the root. I'm also taking a look at the strands to make sure that the consistency is still there. And if I see any dark areas or any areas that look like it needs a bit more saturation, I'm just going to take care of that as I go. All the roots that are at the side and back that we've cut, I would actually leave that for last because it's very close to the scalp as well. But it's so short that we can apply that quickly at the end, and it generally will just speed up and catch up with the rest. So we got the whole crown and the roots done. Now you have the sides and back, the shorter area. I want to let you know, don't overthink this area. Don't take your time and go so small and do all these sections, to be honest with you. Just make sure you have good saturation and get the product on there. You'll be able to have a more consistent result if you just get the product on there. The whole application for the sides and back, to be honest with you, should take you just 2 minutes, and realistically, it could take 1. You're gonna use your tail comb and you're gonna go and take small sections, and then at that point, you're gonna make sure that you really do have good coverage. If you need to add additional product in certain areas, that would be your time to do that. So as you can see, I'm just doing small slices and just getting my product right in there to make sure every strand is saturated. This is a pretty dense area right here, so I'm gonna take a small slice, get right in there, apply to the top, apply to the bottom, and then evenly distribute my product. Okay, so I've completed my global application. Processing time has been reached. There may be this particular mannequin, although it's very similar to the one that you have, it's slightly different, so it might lift slightly different. But I'm gonna wash it out now and then prepare for my deposit, which is gonna be the fashion color. So after the lightning process, I conditioned and dried the hair, and I'm now applying my semi-permanent fashion color. It is Violet Gem. I applied it to dry hair strategically. As you can see, a bit of shine here. I'm just using a bit of Vaseline to ensure that the skin, the face, the ears, and everything is being protected, and the application will be neat and clean.